It was a nationwide adoption fraud scheme first exposed by the 7 investigators that we have been covering for years now.
When a federal judge sentenced Macomb County mom Tara Lee, he called her evil and said he wished he could give her life in prison. But now Tara Lee is leaving her prison cell and her victims are outraged.
Well, tonight 7 investigator Heather Catallo is sharing what she has learned.
Next week, Tara Lee is scheduled to be moved from a federal prison in Alabama back home to a halfway house where she will still be in federal custody, but she'll have far fewer restrictions on her freedom. She's also been asking a judge for compassionate release, and that has the families who say they were traumatized by Lee crying foul.
It's pretty deep trauma. Things that I have needed professional help with.
I don't hate people, but I hate her. She hurt my family.
Teresa Matheny and Courtney Edmonds say their lives were forever changed by Tara Lynn Lee. The 43-year-old Macomb County mother pleaded guilty to wire fraud charges as part of a nationwide adoption fraud scheme.
The pain isn't something that just goes away.
Edmonds says she gave Lee more than $23,000 for 2 different failed adoptions, only to learn that Lee never intended to let her family keep those babies.
There was grief and loss in holding and meeting 2 babies that we thought were ours, right? It's grieving something you never actually had, but you did have.
Federal prosecutors say Lee left a trail of financial and emotional devastation across 24 states, taking in $2.1 million from 160 couples hoping to adopt. As part of her guilty plea, Lee admitted that she made up fake birth mothers, told adoptive couples that babies had died when they never existed, and double-matched couples with the same birth moms.
The things that she did, to our family, trying to adopt our son out to other families after we already had temporary custody of him. The way that she treated our son's birth parents like they were absolute trash.
In 2020, when Judge Bernard Friedman sentenced Lee to 10 years in federal prison, he called her evil and said it was the worst case he'd ever seen. Now, just 5 years later, federal prosecutors have told Lee's victims that she's already getting transferred from her federal detention center in Alabama to a halfway house near Detroit. Even though Lee will still technically be in federal custody, Matheny, Edmond, and dozens of other families say they are outraged.
I feel very frustrated and truly just let down.
And that's not all. A few months ago, Lee filed a motion for compassionate release. Lee told the judge that due to lack of proper medical care, her health has greatly deteriorated. Lee asked for compassionate release due to things like elevated blood sugar levels and an ankle injury.
That is not, a terminal illness. That is not something that affects her ability to self-care. And that really is how the Sentencing Commission defines it, is can you care for yourself in prison?
Mark Chutko is the former chief of the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit. He used to review prisoner requests for compassionate release, and he says Lee's alleged medical conditions likely won't qualify.
I think in addition to the fact that I would say these are not compelling reasons, they're certainly not extraordinary reasons, I would also look at the character of the defendant themselves. And here, Tara Lee is quite notorious. And so that would put me, at least if I was the judge, my radar antenna up as to, can I trust her description of her own medical condition if she was lying about the medical condition of these pregnant mothers?
Prison is not supposed to be easy. It's not. I'm sorry.
Matheny says she finds it insulting to hear Lee asking for compassion with her health issues when she says Lee did not take care of the birth mothers when they needed medical care, even though adoptive parents paid Lee thousands of dollars to do that.
She sure didn't care about anyone else when she was doing her crimes. And I think it's just a way for her to manipulate the system.
Federal prosecutors are asking the judge to deny Lee's motion, saying she permanently altered the lives of the families she victimized and does not deserve to be released early.
She gave many of these families a life sentence, so she deserves the same.
I did reach out to Tara Lee's former attorney, who said that Lee broke her ankle a few years ago, and because it was never properly treated, it can't be repaired. She also told me that because of credit for good behavior, next Tuesday, Lee will be eligible to move to the halfway house until her sentence ends in October of 2026. I'm Heather Catallo, 7 News Detroit.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much, Heather.